February is American Heart Month. And did you know that heart attack and stroke is the #1 health threat to women? Research shows only 56% of women nationwide recognize heart disease as the #1 killer.
And here to help us learn more about it is Dr. Tracy Stevens, Medical Director of St. Luke's Muriel I. Kaufman Women's Heart Center. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, let's just dive right in and talk about this. Why is education on women's heart health so important?
It's very important because this is our #1 health threat. Heart attack and stroke are the #1 killer of women, killing more women than men every year, and killing more women than all forms of cancer combined.
Wow.
And while we know there are traditional risk factors that are shared by men and women, we recognize there are some non-traditional risk factors that people aren't aware of. And there are conditions unique to women, more common in women, that we don't have the research on. Far more questions than answers.
Wow, and that is hard to know that they are there but not necessarily have research on them. What do you know about some of those unique conditions that are specific to women?
One is related to pregnancy, and sadly and sobering is that of all the developed countries in the world, the United States has the highest maternal fetal mortality, meaning pregnant women and their fetus, their baby, dying in the majority of the time, at least over 30% of the time, is related to cardiovascular conditions. So America is the #1 maternal fetal mortality. Missouri ranks 42nd. Kansas City has the worst in our country maternal fetal mortality. Other conditions, SCAD, spontaneous coronary dissection, the most common cause of heart attack in women under 50. Many of these are women who've just had babies, no risk factors. Women over 50, ANOCA, angina with no obstructive coronary arteries, where the time a woman reports these symptoms to someone figuring this out is 3 years.
Oh my God.
Wow. So obviously you're going to want to be looking for symptoms for some of these things. I know when we think about heart attack, sometimes you think about the left arm numbness and things like that, but there are so many different symptoms that present themselves in different ways. How do they present themselves in women usually?
You're right, and we do a bad job as healthcare providers just asking, do you have chest pain? Where in women it can be chest pressure, the elephant on the chest, nausea, shortness of breath, pain between the shoulder blades, palpitations, dizziness, an elbow ache or toothache. What I worry about is overwhelming fatigue. And you think, well, great, who doesn't have those symptoms? But I think any symptom from the waist on up and overwhelming fatigue, you can't identify other causes, think, could this be my heart?
Wow, wow, that's interesting to change your train of thought there. You actually have some things that people at home right now can be doing to reduce their risk of heart disease.
Right. For traditional heart attack and stroke, we can prevent that risk, our own risk, by 95%. It takes discipline. And it's eat healthy, stay active, ideal body weight, don't smoke, limit alcohol, avoid prolonged sitting. A passion of ours in the Women's Heart Center at St. Luke's is blood pressure monitoring. Valentine's Day is coming up, buy someone a blood pressure cuff. And so if we control these risk factors and try to control stress, we can reduce our risk by 95%.
Well, and you had said there's so much that we don't know still. Is that why research is so important into this?
Exactly. The way we practice medicine is based on research done in middle-aged men. For various reasons, we weren't aware this was our #1 health threat, and less than 50%, even 30% women are represented in research. And at St. Luke's in our Women's Heart Center, we are fierce in our mission, and this year a transformational program dedicated to the cardiovascular research in women, and we invite our community, we can't do this alone, to participate in their health, know their risk factors, be disciplined, engage in taking ownership. Our health is our most important asset, and donate. Join our fellowship, our research fellowship, where the donation, the monies for research dedicated to the women in our community will stay here in our community. We can do this. I know we can. We have the team.
Yeah. Oh, I love your passion and I love your willingness to come on and share, so thank you. She brought us red dress pins, the Go Red for Women. That was so kind of you. So we see you spreading the word, and we're so grateful for that. Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Of course, St. Luke's Muriel I. Kaufman's Women's Heart Center is celebrating its 30th anniversary of advocating for and treating women's hearts. Learn more about Women's Heart Center and the women's heart health at stlukeskc.org/womensheart.